Hi, my name is Jael John Baptist, representing the National Cooperative Credit Union Limited, and I'm just here to tell you that when you're done at the ATM, that receipt, just take it and recycle.
Hola, soy Enya Dolores de Busai Pharmacy, ubicada en Federation Drive, Hooghly. He estado involucrada en la farmacia durante más de 2 décadas. Ofrecemos una farmacia de servicio completo y una variedad de medicamentos de venta liberada para nuestros pacientes. Entonces, cuando necesites una farmacia de servicio completo, visítanos en Busai Pharmacy Federation Drive, Hooghly. Somos los doctores de elección de su farmacia comunitaria. Ofrecemos servicio con experiencia.
Jael, your Brits gonna drink?
At Fresh Market Health, Beauty, and Cosmetics, we carry a variety of product lines that you know and love. Hurry upstairs of the store located on the bayfront and shop hair supplies, personal care, and household products.
You want edge control too? Shampoo? Bonnet? Okay.
Visit Fresh Market HBC today. Hello. Bonjour tout le monde. Hello, everyone. Hello. You guys hear me okay? Welcome, one and all. Thank you so very much for joining us here for another Jael Joseph Live. But this one is called Run the Track and Talk. So happy to be back here with you guys for another show, another day, another guest, another fabulous guest. Oh my God, I'm so excited for the show. This is a long time in the making. You know how many people have asked me, how come, Jael, you've never had me get on your show? And like they don't even know. Like it's not that I didn't even try. Like you know how many times we plan and it didn't happen. Things, she had to travel, our schedules clashed, so many things going on, and it just never happened. And as I always say, everything happens when it has to happen, right? Nothing happens before it's time, and I feel like now is the time, right? We got Michele. I heard Dominica has had a lot of action today. They've had cricket, cricketers in the house, and India, West Indies, a lot of stuff going on in Dominica. So big up to all those of you who went to the game and who enjoyed it. I hear it's kind of expensive for most people. It's not really expensive. It just some people let's say, okay, what is the word? What I always use this line. I'm like, it's not expensive. It's just that we cannot afford it. Like it's not expensive. We just cannot afford it, right? So when people used to tell me, "Girl, Jill, you're expensive. You just can't afford me." I'm not expensive, right, Miguel? We just cannot afford us. Miguel's laughing in the back. But I mean, the price. I don't find the price an expensive price. I find that it's just not affordable for most households. So most people want to actually go out and enjoy the cricket. They're unable to do so, or probably might have to not eat or eat crackers and cheese next week. To go and eat. A once in a lifetime opportunity, right? So crackers and cheese for the rest of the week, and we're gonna go watch my series, right? But I'm happy to be back here with you guys, and I'm happy to have every single one of you here with me. For those of you who've been following me, I've been doing a lot of stuff this week, and it's been a very, very busy. I will not go down memory lane because if you catch my live over the last couple of days, you'll know. Those of you who follow me, you'll know, right? I want to welcome the folks who are on Facebook. I see them coming through. Come through. Make sure you guys tag a friend, tag one, tag two, tag three, tag four. Hi, hello, Nadisha. Nadisha is here. And Nadisha, good night. Thank you very much. Hot Nats is here. Welcome, welcome. I'm gonna be going back and forth because I opened up another screen because tonight is actually we have not done Run the Track and Talk in a while. So tonight is kind of like almost like a reintroduction of Run the Track and Talk. And I wanted to do it a little bit different than I did in the past. So the guest is going to, obviously Mika's going to sing for us, one or two little song thing for us. But it's coming from the folks in the Jael Joseph live group. So the folks during the day, the folks in the Jael Joseph live group, if you're in the Jael Joseph live group, let me see your thumbs up because they were saying which one, they were going on memory lane on her favorite songs or on their favorite songs. So the ones that they really, 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 really liked. And I get to pick, and of course I'll shout out my top fans. Thank you very much for all of your support. I cannot do this without you guys. So we're going to be hearing a little bit from her. And also, one of you, or at least two of you, are going to walk away with makeup. So that is $100 gift voucher each. So that's the two opportunities to win $100 gift voucher for LA Girl Makeup. So cosmetics at Fresh Market. That's upstairs of Fresh Market. So two people, but you had to do something in order to win it. And we shared what you had to do. Nobody just come in my DMs and tell me, Jay, I win. I think I win. Where's my gift voucher? None of that, right? Reason being, we make this very fair. So the first two people who have shared the flyer and shared this live, as well as answered the question. We're going to be asking one question at the halfway point of the show. So you got to stay for half of the show, right? You got to stay on. And the first person that answers and have done their part, the first two people will win $100 gift voucher to get makeup. I'm actually wearing I'm wearing a lipstick by LA Girl right now, and I'm also wearing the pod. Can't remember what it's called. Yeah, but you can fill in your brows. That's what I'm actually wearing by LA Girl. So and also my blush is from LA Girl. So my blush goes all up to the temples. They call it quintessential makeup. You got it. There's a name for it actually. It's trending on TikTok. It's called coquette. So I'm coquetting tonight. So we're gonna get the show on the road. I want to say thank you very much to my sponsors, Fresh Market, HBC. Thank you very much to the National Cooperative Credit Union of Dominica, and also to Bullseye Pharmacy. Thank you very much for your support. I truly appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you, Hot Nats. Thank you, guys. Thank you. And don't forget, you can always send the stars during the show. You can always tag your friends during the show. And you can always ask your questions, because I try my best to follow the chat, to stay in tune. So if you have questions for Michele, drop them in the chat. I will do my best to catch them. Those of you in the Jael Joseph live group, you'll obviously get the first opportunities to ask your questions. So sorry, preferential treatment, but so it is sometimes. We gotta get the show on the road. We're actually live on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter. So we're live on 4 platforms right now. So thank you for those of you who are joining us from any of these 4 platforms. I'll do my best to try and manage all the platforms so I can see your comments on all the platforms. I'll do my best. But if I don't mention you, it doesn't mean I didn't see you. I love you all the same. All right? Let's get this show on the road. Ready for Michele? Are you guys ready for Michele? If you're ready for Michele, let me see. Put your mics. Put the mics in the chat. Put the mics in the chat. If you're ready for Michele, let's see the mic. Drop your mics in the chat. Thank you very much, every single one of you who are tuned in right now, and we're gonna get this show on the road. All right. So, Michele, I have known Michele for like I mean, who doesn't know Michele? If you're not Dominican, you don't know Michele, right? I mean, I don't know her personally like that, but I remember being on Q Talent Search, and one of the singers actually called it. I mean, I knew of her before, but you never know how big somebody is until somebody calls into a radio and say, "I want to sing a Michele Henderson," and you're like, "Wait a minute." Like, she really a star, right? And that was how I really started to get to know about her music and get to know who she is. And we refer to her as the Princess of Song here in Dominica. She's also a global a goodwill ambassador. She's been doing so many wonderful things. She has a beautiful voice. She plays come instruments. So she tell us about how many instruments she plays. I say come, like as if it's plenty. She laughing. We're gonna talk to Michele. Says nothing's off the table. Oh, Jay, she don't know what you do there. Like, she don't know how Jay like to dig. Get ready for and welcome for the first time right here with me, Michele Henderson.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. It's good to have you here.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
You ready for the show?
Boy, expectations.
That's a song by Colton T.
I see so many people on because I follow you on Facebook as well. Are like excited for the show. So I'm like, shoot, what are you gonna ask me, boy? And I go and give Jael carte blanche to ask me anything. So
Boy, let me tell you. I don't know if you wanted to do that, I don't know if you wanted to do that.
that's
Because
I'm actually comfortable talking about myself, so it's okay.
okay, I'm a digger. And I don't like to compare myself to anybody, but I'm not the typical Dominican journalist who will slide across the questions. So
Right. Oh well, but I've been interviewed by journalists from all over. So
okay,
I've
all
been
right.
through the ringer.
I don't try to scare you at all. At all. My guests always feel at home right here.
That's good.
And I'm so very happy that you could join me here on the show. Thank you very, very much. I know you're super busy and you're always in and out. And
Mhm.
I was saying, at the start of the show that it's not that I haven't tried,
No,
right?
it's not that you haven't tried,
I've tried multiple times.
but the stars aligned this time, so it's good.
Yes. Yes, that's it's perfect now.
Mhm.
Michael, I wanna start first. So I know people always want to know about your childhood and whatever and all of that story, right? So
Yeah.
so everybody wants to know about Michael. I mean, we all know you come from Grand Bay. Uh,
Yes.
you were born, raised, and you still live in Grand Bay, like
Yeah.
you're a young way to the bone. So I don't think we have to go down
Me and
that.
Asa.
You're an Asa. Yeah, the princess of song and the bouillon prince, right?
Yeah,
From
right.
Grand Bay. But I kind of want to start by trying to understand, when
Mhm.
did you really feel like you were a singer? Like, because and I'm asking you this because
Mhm.
the norm growing up in the Caribbean is that when you have to go to school, and do this, and you have to become a lawyer, a doctor, a teacher, or a policeman if you like, if that's the last resort,
Yep.
right?
Mhm.
Um, but like, what did Mikel want to be when she was growing up? Was it, wait, did you always want to be a singer?
I mean, I always was a singer. Not that I always wanted to be. I always was because my family is a very musical one. My dad is a musician, and my parents sang in church. My father directed the church choir. So this wasn't like a choice, really. It was something I was kind of born into. And then as a child, I was always told that my grandfather was an exceptional musician, played several instruments, sang in church. So it was sort of it's almost like when the universe decided to send me to earth, that was the family, chosen. So it was just, yeah, I was born into it literally. But when I was growing up, I did want to be a marine biologist. That was really what I wanted to be. And I still have a love for the ocean. And yeah, part of my reason for loving the flute is because it sounds like whales.
Really?
So, yes. Really.
And I did not know that about, like,
Yeah.
that fact, that the reason why you love the flute so much is because
Mhm. It
it
reminds
does.
me of the sound of whales.
So
Yeah.
so when did you decide that you were abandoning your dreams to become a singer? I
No,
mean,
there's time yet. I can still be a marine biologist. But anyway, um, I think as I grew up, I became a teenager and started getting involved with recording music. When I started doing the Musicano projects, when I started doing Impact, that's a band that I joined when I was quite young. um, I felt like it was something I could do as a profession. Other than that, grew up in the Caribbean. I, like you said, doctor, lawyer, my mom always felt that I needed something to fall back on. So she wasn't too keen on the idea of me being a musician
mhm,
professionally. Like
mhm.
the idea that I played music, but not that I would do it professionally. So um, I think when I started to actually earn money as a teenager, all my friends were getting money from their parents, and I was earning money. So I think that sort of convinced me that this is something that I could do, and do it well and make a living from it.
So you were a teenager, like in your early teens.
Yeah, I'd say about 15. Hmm.
Wow.
Hmm.
Wow. And
Mid.
so, so she's
Yeah.
like, I can make money. I can do this.
I was earning money. I was making money. I was like, what? People are paying me to do this? Are you kidding?
I
So,
wanna I wanna play something for you,
mhm.
and we're gonna go down memory lane a little bit. And I want
Oh,
you to tell me what were you thinking, or how did you feel
mhm.
on that day?
Hey,
Oh my God.
I'm gonna do this song for Steve because I know he likes that song. And Wadix
Oh
too.
my God, Jael.
Hey,
I was singing. But anyway,
come on, come on.
I
You
think I
ready?
just cut my hair.
I saw you just the other day, baby. And you
You remember that?
I do, and Connell has no hair. Look at Connell. I mean, you see, his locks are all the way down to his rear right now.
His locks is even longer than yours.
Longer than mine. Well, I cut mine frequently.
Yes,
So,
yes.
um, yeah, when they get to a certain length, I cut them. But yeah, that was World Creole Music Festival. I don't even know what year that was.
2012.
2012. Wow, it's like ages ago, ancient. But yeah, it was just. I think that year I performed. Was that with me and Ophelia?
I believe so.
I believe that year. Yeah. Yeah, I was just having fun on the stage as usual, normal, just fixing up. I enjoy performing. It brings out the real me. I like
Hmm.
to tell people because I feel most alive when I'm on stage and communicating with my audience and watching them receive the communication. That's what gives me life and gives me the encouragement to continue doing what I do. So for me, that would be what I've been feeling up there, just the freedom of being myself.
We have like folks like Nancy Saint-Hilaire. Uh,
Hmm.
she as well as Selector Urban
Yeah, my boy. Yes.
and Mimi Piper. That was one of
Oh,
their favorite songs. So
me.
so we want to dedicate that one to them. I think you're gonna have to do a little something for us. We're starting you off early. You want me to play it in the back?
Goes on.
You want me to play it in the back? I could put it, I could rewind it, fast
With
forward.
that.
I know he likes that song. And Wallace too.
Boy,
We can lower it down a little bit.
over how skinny I look.
You ready?
Okay, let's go back. Let's go back to that. All right, let's go.
I saw you
Saw you just the other day. Wait,
and you were
you were trying to think what to say. Gonna bring your heart, gonna bring about your own right. Without the you from away, baby. Look at one another, girl. And it's just the way you go. And there you go. That I
Continue.
around a crowd, I wait for you to come back. You know the beat goes on. My life goes on without you. And did you think that I was gonna sit around and cry? Oh
Yes.
no.
Yeah, we starting. We warm up the vocals. Starting. Starting the night off. Right, Mikael, thank you so very much for that. I know the top fans in the JL Joseph Live group, they're gonna definitely be happy. So big up to Selector Urban, Lillian Piper or Mimi Piper, and Nancy Saint-Hilaire.
Nice.
That was one of their top requests. The top request.
Yeah.
They said that was one of their favorite songs. My favorite song was different, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Because you are a Goodwill ambassador, and
Mhm.
I want to kind of get an understanding as to when did that come about, and what are some of the things that you're really passionate about.
I think it came about in about 2004, thereabouts. It's a while back, but yeah, I'm old. But the idea I think behind it, because it was I mean it wasn't something that I was expecting. Um, it was awarded basically. I got a call and I assume it was because of the amount of travel that I did, and I'm an advocate for my island. I'm always promoting. I'm an ambassador, whether or not I had a designation as an ambassador. I was always an ambassador for Dominica, still am, and still and will be, whether or not the designation exists. So for me, I have a passion about the country, about its culture, about its people, and sort of letting the world know what a paradise we have here. um, there's of course there's lots of room for improvement. Always people always come back at me with that, like, everything is not perfect here in the island, but we have a great quality of life here, in that it's peaceful, the air is clean, there are no bombs falling from the sky, there people are very homely and hospitable, and you know for me that those things have value, and I feel like people around the world should know that a place like this exists. I'm very proud of it, very proud of this culture too, our music and our folklore and our food, our cuisine, everything about it.
Wow, she's a real diehard Dominican to the bone. Because
Fun.
you've surrounded yourself by music your whole life, as
Mhm.
you told us.
Mhm.
Um, what really does music mean to you?
It means I see music as my purpose in life. It's more to me than just something I do as a job, as a
Mhm.
career, or to entertain people. I see it as the reason I'm here. Um, I'm very I go hard on communication. Communication to me is the universal solvent. I know that sounds cliche, but it's very, very true. And for me, music allows me to communicate. It allows me to raise people's spirits,
Mhm.
because the world has enough drudgery in it as it is. The world is really, there's so much stuff going on. And so music and entertaining allows you to sort of draw people out of the chaos for a little bit, and they find a moment where they can release, they can feel pleasure, they can, it's almost like a spiritual experience. You know, you feel your spirit lifting when you listen to good music. So, and I'm the messenger of that. So I feel music for me is more than just something I perform because I'm an entertainer. I feel I'm here to be a soother of souls, if you will.
A soother of souls.
I just thought of that. I should put that down somewhere.
A soother of souls. If you forget it, you can come back and watch the live. A soother of souls.
Yes.
Who were some of the people who inspired you? You mentioned your family.
Mhm.
Obviously, they were kind of who nurtured you into, your musical career. Who were some of the like the big name artists that you kind of said, "Damn, I want to be like that person"?
Boy, so many. Because I grew up with a father who listened to a lot of different styles of music, so I was exposed to so many different genres of music, and I was exposed to artists from every walk of life, from right here locally in the Caribbean and further afield. So for me, I have my local influences would have to be the Ophelias, the Chubby and the Midnight Groovers and Gordon Henderson, and these people definitely influenced my style of music. Also, my teachers, Pearl Christian, Ling Sorrento, the people who actually formally trained me in music, had a huge influence on my life and the trajectory, the path that I took in music. Regionally, I loved Sparrow, still do. Sparrow, Bob Marley, Peter Tosh, Kitchener, Bomber, like those great Calypsonians, because they were not just Calypsonians, they were quite witty, they were poets, they were
They were
storytellers.
storytellers. Uh-huh.
I love that. So for me, these people had a huge impact on me as well. Internationally, I loved artists like Sting and Phil Collins. Again, great storytellers, great melodies in their music. I loved Aretha Franklin, Whitney Houston, great voices. Ella Fitzgerald, all the jazz, the great voices of jazz. Ella Fitzgerald and Billie Holiday and Lena Horne and Sarah Vaughan and I don't know, so many of them.
I,
Yeah, Rachel Farrell. There's an artist named Rachel Farrell who I was just like madly just focused on because of her ability to. That lady could sing anything, anything, and so and she had thick lips like me. Because at first I didn't like my lips because I thought they were like ugly. You know, my thick lips. Everybody has this nice thin
girl,
pursed lip.
everybody putting thing
Ah,
to pucker
right.
up.
And then Rachel Farrell had these really big, thick lips, but she could sing and she really didn't care what people thought about her. You know, she was like, she would contort her face to make sure she got her notes. And so that was another person. It is, but like I said, the list goes on. There's Chick Corea that I had the opportunity to actually perform with multiple times. And he's a 24 Grammy award winner, you know. So for me, it's Stanley Clark and Mark Isham, people who've written in movies, written for movies, and so for me, I have so many people that have influenced me. It's hard to just to narrow it down.
And I like that you said that you have so many people that have influenced or inspired you, because I'm always confused as to what genre you're because I can never bottle you and say she sings Kardashian. No, she's singing Zouk. No, she does sing love song. Like you have a bit of everything, but I
Yes.
still want to kind of know what is your favorite genre, or probably I should ask first what kind of singer you classify yourself as. So if somebody had to say, Michele, what genre do you sing? What would you say? What would you say to them?
That's a loaded question. The other day, my daughter and I were having an argument about pronouns and
Oh
gender.
gosh.
It kind of feels like that. Um, I'm genre fluid.
I love it. She's genre fluid. Good
Yeah,
answer. Good answer.
yeah,
Good
because
answer.
I just love singing, and I find to limit myself to one genre is just like being in a candy store with so many different flavors and just, well, I only like chocolate. No, that's, yeah, it's a little, you know. narrowing for me. So I love jazz because of how expressive it is. I
Mhm.
love cadence because it's our music, and I feel like it's our job to actually go out there and promote what is ours. I love pop music. I love R&B. I like soul. I like classical music. It's just, yeah. I I can sing the Ave Maria just as well as I can sing I Will Always Love You, or you know what I mean. I like gospel music. I like so many genres. It's too hard to choose. I don't think I should. I haven't limited myself to one, so I don't think
I
I'll
feel
ever.
like you're leading the conversation for me tonight because you mentioned how a genre fluid you are.
Yeah.
Um and my next question would go along more along the lines of who you are as an individual,
Mm-hmm.
because as we know, people portray one thing on stage,
Mm-hmm.
and then off the stage they're
Mm-hmm.
someone, they're completely different. And a lot of times fans,
Mm-hmm.
they're unable to differentiate that, hey, you may love this person as an artist, but this person has a whole other life.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you're a farmer, you're a businesswoman, you're an entrepreneur. I don't know how far you are with your law degree. I don't know if you've
Still
completed,
working on it. Still
right?
working.
So you're still on. So you're doing all of these different
Yep.
things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so tell me a little bit about your on stage versus your off stage personality.
They're
Your
not
your
too different.
personality fluid.
No, they're just that they're not too different. They're not. I still. I think I carry the same aura on stage that I carry off stage, in that I like communicating with people. And when I'm on stage, that's what I do. When I'm off stage, that's also what I do.
Okay.
I saw a family member today who was here for a funeral a couple of weeks ago, and I crossed the street and I said, "Hi, how are you doing?" And she said, "You know what? That's what I like about you, because you would never pass." I said, "Yeah, but that's just for me. Communication is just what I'm meant to do. And so I do it on stage and I do it off stage." And I saw another guy today who was like, who introduced himself as a singer from Pay Bush, and I had never heard of him before, unfortunately. And he told me, he had all this music. I said, "Oh, you sing?" And he told me where to find his music on YouTube. And we had a nice conversation. And we walked all the way, quite a distance, having a chat. We had never met each other before. But that's just something that's not unnatural for me. So for me, I think the two personas are it's the same. Not really two personas. It's one. Obviously, given what the situation is, you adapt to the situation and you apply whatever level of communication is needed for that situation. But I'm pretty much the same person. Yeah. If you meet me on stage and you meet me off stage, I'm pretty much the same person.
Mm, that's
I
really
just do a lot of things. I do a lot. Just the other day, my husband was like, "When do you get time to do all of this stuff?" Like, I don't know. I guess I make the time. I just make time. That's it.
you make time, and you know what to prioritize when you need to prioritize what you
Yeah,
need to.
exactly.
So that's what's super important.
Mhm.
So I want to go into a little bit about your music. And you have and doing research for this interview was interesting because you have 6 solo albums.
Yes, I do.
Wow. you have
Yeah.
you have six.
And the singles. Yeah, yeah, I do.
Wow. What would you say would be your top 5 favorite songs?
Jael, that is a difficult question.
Okay, and I want to probably put you there with it. I
Mhm.
want to, like, what sound like of yours like really tugs at your heartstrings. Like when you hear it, it just gives you that, oh my god, or like, I can't believe I wrote this.
Home for sure. When I wrote the song Home,
Mhm.
I felt like, wow, did I actually write that song? Because it speaks so much to how much I love the island and the diversity of it, the drama of it. And there's lots of hidden messages in that song that people might not be aware of. But yeah, I think that one sort of really encapsulates my sentiment about the island and its people and my love for it, you know?
Mhm.
So I love that song, Home. And people might get tired of me singing that song, but I love that. I love singing that song
I don't
because
think
for
we
me,
can get I don't think we can ever get tired. Let me find home. Let me find home.
it's poetry for me. It's like it's a poem
I'm gonna
and ode to the island.
let's see. Let's see this. Is that it? Let's just see if I'm on track.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Michele Henderson. I'm a singer-songwriter from the island of
That it?
Dominica, and I'm so blessed and honored to be here with you this evening to share
Oh
some
my
of my
God, where did you
music.
find that?
Really do hope you enjoy.
It's not playing now. It's not playing on the screen.
I'm a child of warrior, daughter of a slave, product of the blood that my ancestors gave. I am fierce, Kalinaga in the Pegwala. I am proud Mandingo in the dark of night. I am
I am
white,
white
bull,
Chocobo,
native to
made
the
it to
core,
the core,
endowed with the
endowed with
free
the free
spirit of
spirit of
name I
name I
want.
want.
Favored with the
Favored with the
gifts of
gift of
freedom and
freedom and
mirth,
mirth,
I
yes,
owe
I
to
owe
the
to the
land of
land of
my
my
birth,
birth,
and I
and I
sing
sing
ho.
home.
From east
From
with
east with
the
the
rising
rising
sun
sun,
to
to
west when the
west when the
day is
day is
done.
done.
This
This
land is
land is
my
my
home.
home,
I
I
sing
sing
home.
home.
From the
On the
mountains that
mountains that
gave me
gave
name,
rain,
the
the
hills from
hills
whence
from whence
rain
rain
can
can
fade. This
fade. This
land
land
is
is
my
my home.
home, my home.
Ooh! Yes, yes. You're giving
Yeah.
me the chills. Yes, yes. Absolutely loving this, Mikhail. Your voice, Beverly saying that voice.
Thank
Beverly's
you,
on the line
Beverly.
saying
Thank you, Beverly. Thank you.
saying that voice. Who else? What other song you really, really love?
Sorry, I'm keeping hydrated. The people.
That's good. That's good. I have mine too.
What other song do I like? Oh my goodness. I like T. Kyla.
Hmm.
It's a little song I wrote, and I don't. The fact is, I wrote it, but I don't always remember the words. But it's a song also I wrote about like village life. You know, living in a small house and waking up in the morning. And
Hmm.
for those who speak patois, the chorus goes, "Ushaye kolo pate boa asido sek lejane baliye laku." It's like talks about you carry your water and you, you know, you
Hmm.
carry your wood and you weed the yard and sweep it and that sort of. That's country life. You know how we grew up early in the morning, and I like that song as well. I like it because it's simple, and yeah, it gives me a nice little feeling of living in a little house in the mountains somewhere.
One of my top, well, a few of the top fans love Home.
Mm-hmm.
So Dorothy John Baptist says she loves Home.
Mm,
And she said, I just love it. Allison says Home, then it's CARICOM theme song.
oh,
She
yeah.
absolutely loves that one. My
Mhm.
favorite is My Pride.
Oh my, you go way back. That
Oh my God. This is like my favorite, absolute favorite.
I was 15 in jail.
We're gonna take a break because when you come back, you're gonna sing My Pride. We're gonna take a break, and when we come
14, 15. Yeah, yeah, something like
back,
that.
we're
Yeah.
gonna drop the question that you're gonna have to answer.
Okay.
And in addition, not you, but the fans would have to
Mhm.
answer so that they can win themselves one of two $100 voucher to for LA Cosmetics, available at Fresh Market Health Beauty and Cosmetics. And you get some water, and then when we come back, we're gonna we're gonna be here. Mikkel's here with us for just a little bit longer. So happy to have her here. So excited that she could join us for this interview. And I hope you guys are enjoying the show so far. So we're coming back with
Yep.
more Mikkel right here on Run the Track and
Right.
Talk. We're coming back.
Right away.
At Fresh Market Health, Beauty, and Cosmetics. Jael, your Brits ministry.
At Fresh Market Health, Beauty, and Cosmetics, we carry a variety of product lines that you know and love. Hurry upstairs of the store located on the bayfront and shop hair supplies, personal care, and household products.
You want edge control too? Shampoo? Bonnet? Okay.
Visit Fresh Market HBC today.
Hi, my name is Jael John Baptist, representing the National Cooperative Credit Union Limited. And I'm just here to tell you that when you're done at the ATM, that receipt, just take it and recycle.
Hola, soy Enya Dolores de Busai Pharmacy, ubicada en Federation Drive, Brooklyn. He estado involucrada en la farmacia durante más de 2 décadas. Ofrecemos una farmacia de servicio completo y una variedad de medicamentos de venta liberada para nuestros pacientes. Entonces, cuando necesites una farmacia de servicio completo, visítanos en Busai Pharmacy Federation Drive, Brooklyn. Somos los doctores de elección de su farmacia comunitaria. Ofrecemos servicio con experiencia.
All right, guys, we're back and we have Michele with us. We've paid the bills and we're so happy to have her back on with us here, joining us right from the comfort of her home. You didn't have to move a muscle, right? You didn't have much movement.
We're about to go to bed.
I know, it's so convenient. It's so convenient. I just put my makeup and I go and sleep, right? And I'm so happy that all of you could join us, and those of you on the live. Hi, Allison, joining us. D Sugar is on here. Edgar Hunter is on here. Edgar Hunter says his favorite is my pride too. Yes, it's my favorite. Yes. Velda is on. Velda Gibson saying hi. Beverly is enjoying the show. So we want to go with my favorite. We ready for my favorite? Like I've absolutely. Let me show you something. Let me show you. I was looking for something and I fell on this. I'm going to show it to you first, and then we could always play it in the back, and you could see it first. You remember this?
Oh my! The jelly. Come on! Put your hands together. Come on!
You look like a little girl.
I was really good.
How you feeling, Dominica?
There we go. Which one is it?
That's it.
Okay. We're gonna. I want you to sing it for me without that in the back. I just wanted you to see it because I wanted
People
to.
know that. Yeah, people know that song. When I wrote that song, I was basically sitting in my room right here in this house. I'm at my parents' house.
Mm-hmm.
And sitting in my room, and my mom says, "Oh, there's a competition for Dumbfester." Alison was right. I did write this for Dumbfester. I saw it on her comments on Facebook, and I was like, "Oh, okay." And I looked on the television, and they had this, thing scrolling and talking about the competition. I said, oh, "Okay." So I went back to my room. I had already been working on a line from that song, but I thought I was going to write a song for Junior Monarch competition, for like a Junior Monarch to sing, right? And then I said, oh, well, I can just use it for this thing. So I sat down and I wrote the song in like probably about half an hour. It didn't take long, right?
Wow.
And I did this. I told my dad, And my dad and my sister went with me to Radio Abamago. I don't know if you remember, there's a radio station.
But it's still there actually. I just got a message from Radio Abamago not too long
Right,
ago,
right.
because they wanted to know if they could replay the show, and
Yeah.
I started typing yes, and after you said it, just I was like, oh shit, I never hit like
Send.
10.
Yeah, so we went to Radio Abamago and then we Manai is the guy, Dongo Ben.
Mhm.
He recorded it for us. I played the keyboard. I borrowed my neighbor's keyboard, Amy Rafa, if she's ever watching me. Kind of launched my career with this song. So I borrowed. She had a little Casio, and I borrowed it, and I played the chords and sang it into the microphone at Radio Mamago. He recorded it, and then my sister sang background vocals for me. Yeah.
Wow.
And then I brought this in. I turned this song in at like almost 5 o'clock on the last day of submissions. This was the last minute entry.
Wow.
And when I was told I was part of the top 10, I was surprised because I was like, oh, okay, fine.
You're like, okay, top 10.
Okay, not
You're
bad.
like, what are the chances I'll win?
I didn't think, I never thought I would win because there were so many seasoned performers in that competition. So for me, I was like the youngest performer. And all these people I saw in the top 10 had been through these competitions before, and they had winners there and stuff. So it was like, wow, okay. But I was happy for the opportunity. A song I wrote actually made it to a competition. I had written a song before that had come third place. I remember for some Ministry of Health something. I can't remember the exact reason, but it was like a third place competition. And it was a little thing. It wasn't nothing big. So
Mhm.
this one, I was like, oh wow, I actually made it to the finals, right? And we went and did that show that night. I remember we had a whole busload of people from Granby.
Granby
Some
always represents.
teacher Adi and my father, and we were all there. And I remember teacher Adi, she may not remember this, but I remember telling my father, but Lambert, she has no props. Everybody have props. And he was like, leave the girl alone, leave the child alone. And my father used to call teacher Lambert. And yeah, I just went out there and sang the song. Like, just fun of it. I went there and I had fun. I sang the song. I was more than happy to be able to share something that I wrote with the public. And even while they were calling out the results, Jael, I wasn't thinking about the results. I'm just thinking about the people in the audience and Raymond's voice and, all kinds of things going through my head. And then they called the everybody else to get everybody who participated who was not in the top four to come forward to get their participation trophy and step back. And I was like, oh, so that means I'm in the top four because they didn't call my name. And they kept calling names and they wasn't calling my name. I'm like, I was shocked. I didn't actually, I wasn't expecting to.
Well, I'll
But
tell you the very, very like when you started at the show, at the start of the show, you said, the stars are aligned. I don't know what that means, if this
mhm,
means anything, but the very first time I heard that song,
mhm,
um, Uncle Charlie, who I told you
mhm.
about,
Yes.
played that song.
Wow.
And I remember him playing it on the keyboard. Yes, and that was the very first time because I was very much involved. We were very much involved in church, so
Hmm.
we would not know of things as they call
Outside.
worldly,
Worldly.
the worldly things, right?
I'm surprised my mom actually let me participate because we were very much like that too. Very
Right. So
church, yes, no worldly things.
so he played that song, and because it wasn't a song, it was a song that was relatable to anybody, regardless of religion you were from. And my mom was always very much cultural, but Uncle Charlie was this person. I mean, and I wanna take a pause just for a little bit because Uncle Charlie passed away last night, and I want to send condolences out to his family. I know how much he loved music. I mean, he was a teacher. He was a very loving man, just a very nice. But when they say somebody's just nice, and I'm trying to keep myself together because so I don't cry. But my sincere condolences goes out to his family, his wife Alroy Seaman, who's always on here. She's always here supporting my show. And his kids. Uh,
Mhm. My
Tina,
condolences as well. Yeah.
Jael, Chesney, Chelsea, Chloe, Chazire, my condolences to all of you and his siblings, Auntie Audrey, Auntie Judy, like the entire Seaman family, it really hit the family hard, here, of his passing. And the very first time I heard that song, I was like, oh my God. And I think that's what gave me a headache. I'm like, oh my God, I have to like play this song tonight,
Mhm.
and just remember, all like he was such a great person and he loved music. He played the keyboard and you said you pulled the keyboard and I was like, oh God, Miguel, like why are you doing this to me? But this was definitely one of my favorite songs of you. And I think I loved it even more so because it was local. And
Mhm.
at the time, there were not really a lot of local songs being played on the radio that we could relate to, as
Right.
and as young people growing up. And this really did, it really did start ignite my love for local music,
Wow.
and really appreciating local. So I feel like you should do a little bit of local.
To let them know, I want them to know they can strip me of all my wealth, my clothes, my home, but tell them I know. So I want them to know too. They can take everything they want from me, but there's one thing they cannot have. You see, my pride, my pride, my pride.
Wow. This one goes out to the
Uncle
family, Uncle Charlie. May your soul rest in peace.
Charlie.
Gotta keep it together, JL. Keep it together. No crying.
Mhm.
Gotta keep it together.
We understand.
You have really, done wonderful things. You've traveled so many different places to perform. Tell me a little bit about the different places you like. Just we want to just
You
take us
can
on a
name them.
journey. Take us on a journey of some of the places that people would not believe because you are also very private. Like you're not like me on social media. Say I went there and there. You don't do that.
Very true.
You're not.
Um,
You're like I'm like I'm in Timbuktu. You will not believe that's how Mikel. Tell us some of the
no,
places that would
no,
never
I've,
guess.
I've been to so many places, but yeah, and I don't always post where I am at the time where I am at that
Hmm.
time. So you might see a photo of me in Greece, but I'm actually back home,
Hmm.
by that time. So for safety reasons, one,
Hmm.
and two, just because I like to keep some things to myself. It's nice to have some privacy, now and then. But yeah, I've been to a lot of really lovely exotic places. To name a few, one of the weirdest places I've been to is Estonia. When I say weird, just because I didn't expect them to like our music. Estonia is like this little country near Russia.
Yes. It's,
Right?
it's like close to Austria. Close to
It's
Austria.
Sweden, across the pond from Sweden.
Yes. Yes.
No, from Finland, excuse me.
Finland. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
But yeah, on the Russian border, right? So tiny nation, very small.
Hmm.
So we were not like, expecting people to actually know our music or even like it, and they did. In Denmark as well, we went and did to a festival in Denmark where the people was you would swear it's Michael Jackson. I was like, where are we? Like what?
Hmm.
Enjoyed the music so much. Belgium, South Africa, Sydney, Australia, Japan, Taiwan, Mexico City, Venezuela, Colombia. I've been to a lot of places.
Wow.
Most of Europe, France, Germany. Actually, I believe, I don't know if people understand this, but Germany is probably my largest market. This is where, if you watch my stats, it's where my music
Really?
the most. Where I get royalties from Germany.
Really?
Yeah, it's funny, but yeah, yep.
Um. You know what? I believe you. Because like when you have like artists like Gentleman who
Mm,
sings like they sing music that is associated with our Caribbean culture,
mhm,
and you
mhm,
would expect that people would be like
mhm.
drawn to
Gravitate
that sort
towards it. They are. And I remember there was if anybody's familiar with Germany, one of the main media houses there is called ZDF.
of. Hmm.
And they were in Dominica and did and like expo documentary type film about Dominique, and I hosted them while they were here. So I was going around the island, and introducing them to parts of the island. So I think a lot of people were introduced to me through that show, and then they had a publication in Germany called the Caribbean Journal, which is a magazine that talks all about the Caribbean. And so
Wow.
I was featured on the cover of that magazine one time as well. So I feel like those two sort of media spots, exposures, did very well for me. People started, looking up my music. And so, they started sharing it and playing it. And yeah.
That is so fantastic. That is really good. I want to know a little bit about you as, because you're a mom and you're a
Mhm.
wife, and tell us a little bit about Michele the mom and Michele the wife. And
Well, I would like to think that my kids like my me
they like
being
you.
their
They like
mom.
you.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Sometimes I remember my eldest daughter didn't particularly like me walking into her school. That was not something she enjoyed at all. Um,
Why is that?
Again, probably her friends would go, "Oh, no, no, your mom." Like any other mom walks in, nobody says that. But and I walk in, it's like, "Rana, your mom, Sarah," and she's like, ugh. Yeah. I think the second one too, but she's a little more of a mommy's girl, so she kind of tolerates it a little bit more. Um,
Mhm.
I think the kind of person I am off stage, on stage, kind of like the same person. I love communicating with my children. I love talking to them. They think I talk too much about everything about life, and we have a lot of fun. We have a lot of in-depth conversations, analysis about life. I let them tell me what they think about things. I
Mhm.
like to hear their points of view, and I don't pontificate to my children. Or maybe that's a different parenting style than the Caribbean is used to. So I don't, admonish them the way other parents do. I will tell them, okay, they show me scenarios. This is what's happening. And I said, you know what? I went through a similar circumstance. Here's what I did. This is what worked for me. Doesn't necessarily mean that that's what's going to work for you,
Mhm.
but you now have the knowledge of what happened when I went through it and how I handled it. So you can now apply that to your life, the way you want. And I know it's a different style of parenting from what the Caribbean is used to, but I feel like my kids are very mature and understanding enough to make their own way in life. And it's my job just to guide them. I can't actually take their feet and put them step by step. I can only give them advice from the point of view that I've had through
Mhm.
this life, because it's never the same. I'm not living the same life my parents lived, and my children are not living in the same society or the same. It's too different. So you cannot just lock, stock, and barrel. Just take your solutions and apply them to your children's lives. It doesn't work like that.
Mhm.
And a lot of parents will find trouble when you
Yes,
try to do
and
that.
that's when you find the renegades and
Yeah, because it
the
doesn't work.
rebels.
It's a
Yeah.
completely different society. It's different. The values change, the morals change. Just the situations they come across in life are different from what the challenges are different. Now we've had similar challenges, but they will never be, the exact same thing. So you can share your experiences from similar challenges and let them know, so they have that data. And the best thing you can do is to teach your children how to make good decisions. That is, to me, that is the sum of parenting, is teaching your children to make good decisions for themselves and not deciding for them, not, directing exactly where they go. Just teach them that life has consequences. There's success and there's failure, and there's reward and there's consequence. And so you will come across, that's all you're going to come across in life. You're going to come across situations where you have to make a decision to do this or do that. You get to weigh the consequences. You get to use the data that you have, that you've learned at school, from your teachers, from your coaches, from your parents. You get to use all that data and you make a decision based on what you're facing. Yeah. But I can't tell you do X or do Y, because it's really your decision and your life. And
I
that's how I.
think I think we have this very similar parenting style because I'm like, you do well is for you, it's not for me.
Oh, not for me. It's not for
No.
me.
And
So
I
that's
also and I in the same breath I say my money is for me, not for you.
you know what I mean? But they earn their money. My kids work. They have to work.
Mhm.
You know? So
Mhm.
for me, that's important. I'm saying kids. I have an
Yeah,
adult,
no,
but
I was about to say that you have an
she's
adult
not a
who
kid.
is married. You
She's
have like
married.
you're like you almost like a grandmother with Michael.
Whoosh. Anyway, I like it. I like it. I can't wait. I don't think she's too busy, but I can't wait. I love
Oh, are you ready to be a grandmother?
I'm so ready. I've been ready for the last 4 years. I just, but she's taking her time, which is fine. It's all right. I can't
Like
tell
you
her what
say,
to
you cannot make the decision
do.
for
I have
her.
to stay for her. But I think I have a wealth of love and affection and guidance and nurture to give to a little one. I just don't have any children anymore, but a little baby. So,
You think you would have another one?
no, that's
Like
what I'm saying. I won't.
adult after having an adult. After you have an adult and you're like,
Right, exactly. To me, at this point, my daughter is at that age where she can be a parent. I don't want to be a parent of a little. I can be a grandparent. I can be a darling grandparent. I'm the kind of grandparent who will take that child everywhere. Like she probably wouldn't even have anything to do. My daughter, I will do everything.
mhm.
I take my child to take care, not to take
You're not
care.
going to be the typical grandmother nowadays that say
No,
you make your child for you, not for
not at all. No, she's going to make that child for me.
for you. Good for you. Good for you. Because it does take a village, right? And
Does
you
it?
are a village.
Listen, if my mom wasn't there to help me with these kids, I don't know, I would have lost my head. I would have lost my head. So thankfully, I had my mom and my sister to help me through parenting my kids, because I travel. Look at the amount of times I'm out and not around. So I need to have that solid foundation for my kids. And that's what my mom and my sister presented to me, and my husband's parents as well, and his sisters. So they took care of the kids as well. So if you don't have that village, it becomes not that it's impossible, but it's extremely difficult.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Yeah.
Um, what are what are some of the defining moments in your career? Would you say?
Wow. Okay. Well, I'd say one when I released my own album. That was one of the defining moments because I felt at that point that day I'm really an artist now. Like my own music.
Made it.
Yeah. People listen to my own because at first I was kind of shy about writing when I first started writing at around age 11, 12. You write a song and you it's such a piece of art is a very personal thing, and you're afraid of critique. You're afraid that somebody's going to say, oh, it sucks, it's terrible, right?
Mhm.
But I wrote this very terrible song when I was about 12 years old, and my mother thought it was the best thing in the world. She was like, she was so proud and had me sing it everywhere she get a chance to sing it. It was a song about being in not 12. I was 9. I wasn't 12, I was 9. So this was a song about being in a scholarship class because I was going to go into common entrance. I was very young when I went into common entrance.
Like me.
Yeah. And so I wrote this song about being in a scholarship class. The scholarship class, not the class, not just any class, not a grade 7 class, a scholarship class. So, and she was so proud of that. And I was like, when I look back at it, I'm like, that song sucked. It was terrible. but
I don't think it sucked. I don't even think that she cared what the song
no,
mattered. It was just because you were singing it
and
and
I
you wrote
was
your song.
writing.
Right.
My mom, believe it or not, my mom is one of the most intelligent people I met academically. My mom knew about every topic. Anything we would discuss, she would have read about it. She would have an opinion on,
Mhm.
you know. And so you could go to her for any type of information. But my mom never graduated from high school,
Wow.
you know.
Wow.
So for me, I think when I started writing and sort of, showing off my little academic prowess, she was proud. She's
Mhm.
very, very proud. So for her, that was something that, she could celebrate and we could share together, and we did that together. I think my initial writing skills came from my mom. She was a very creative writer. Yeah.
Mm. Any other defining moments besides your album?
Okay, the album, yes. Well, when I was invited to perform at the first international festival, I had written that solo album, and then I got a call from the Grenada Spice Jazz Festival, and they said we had listened to your music, it's fantastic, and we'd like to invite you to come to perform it. I couldn't believe it. I was like, where am I? Really, is this happening? I was being invited to perform on an international stage. I mean, the other acts were like third world, and like big people, and it was little me, right? And I showed up at the airport with my band, and they brought a limo to pick me up. And there was all this media and lights. It was like, ah, it was, yeah, one of the crowning moments. I was quite young. I was probably like, how old was I? 20, 21 or something like that. Um, but it was very, very eye opening for me that I actually was starting to live an artist life at that point, you know?
You kind of manifested that though, because even in while we're speaking, you said something that stayed with me. Like from very young, when from a teenager, you knew that you wanted to do this for the rest of your life.
Mhm.
So it's like you will like your purpose. You willed your purpose into existence. Like
Exactly.
you.
And you know how important that is to do. I hear teachers telling children, and that's an unfortunate thing. Stop daydreaming. No, I no, please daydream, because I daydreamed about this. I would be in class, and my mind is not in the classroom. It's not, I'm not telling you not to pay attention in class, but I dreamed about these things. I dreamed about having a life, a different kind of. I was always somewhere else. In my mind, I was somewhere else, and I cannot tell you how important that was in having that dream or that imagination, that goal out there.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't put it there, then it doesn't exist. You don't achieve it. You don't go towards it. You never think you can do it. But if you have it there as a dream, like, oh, you have that idea, I can do this, I want to do this, I wish, even if it's just, I wish I was
Mm-hmm.
that.
And having people to help you nurture it.
Keep that imagination, keep that spark. Don't tell children to stop imagining or daydreaming.
Yeah.
This is what success is made of. You have to dream about it.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it has to be like a fantasy that kind of obsesses, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and then you start doing things, taking steps toward it, and then the universe complies.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So
Yes. You will your shit to existence, right?
right?
Manifest that.
I know.
I know you're passionate about a lot of things.
Mm-hmm,
And one of the things that I know is that you advocate for women's rights.
mm-hmm.
Why did you decide that you wanted to um, kind of gravitate towards that cause? I mean, you could have said, I want to be an animals rights advocate because you live on a farm. I want
Yeah,
to be you
I
could have
was vegetarian for a while, so I was such a
right.
advocate for animals. Yeah, but yes, I two things. My mother's a very strong woman. I
Mhm.
grew up in a household where my mom was, you know, very actively involved in the economics of the household and directing the household. My father was definitely the leader of the house, but my mom played a very integral role. My
Mhm.
mother wasn't, I didn't grow up seeing my mother marginalized like I saw in other families. Like my mom was right there with my dad,
Mhm.
leading the family. But I would notice amongst other families that women were kind of relegated to that position almost at the back. So that was of concern to me. And growing up, I always felt like I wanted to be a different kind of woman. And I didn't necessarily want to be like overly feministic and like we don't need men in this world or anything like that. But just I just wanted the freedom to be as a human being, just to be and to
Mhm.
have an equal, place in the world that I can contribute in the way that I feel I
Mhm.
can contribute.
Mhm.
Um, so uh, that's the premise. That would be the reason, the raison d'être. And I felt that women, even to this day, there are young women who do not understand their value. They do not understand how much they bring to the table, and so
Mhm.
they settle. And that saddens me a lot to watch women settle for being a doormat, having people just walk over you because, well, it's a male dominated society. And so what? Look, there are women out there doing stuff. There's when I started, people like Janet Azuz and Ophelia Murray were, you know, big time women on a pedestal. So I felt like, yeah, if they can do that, I can do that too. I don't have to relegate myself to just, being somebody's mate and just, you know, care.
But you got married very young. You got
I did, but I got married to someone who shared the same values. So it wasn't we. I don't think it ever occurred to us that we were going to have a conventional family, in the sense that the gender roles were going to be fixed, you know, and that one would sort of suppress the other or anything like those things. Never, we didn't. Those conversations never happened like that. We would talk about how things were happening in the world and how we were different and how we would want to change things. And then I kept seeing things around me, seeing people going through situations, and when I would speak to them, especially in recent times, they felt like they couldn't do anything about it, that this is just how it is. And I'm like, no, it's not just how it is. You can actually live. You can actually do something to change your circumstances. You don't have to live like that. And so I feel like those of us who actually are aware that there is a way that you can carry yourself as a woman that gives you your freedom, you know, allows you to be, um, doesn't just marginalize you and push you to the side, because that's not how. But a lot of people, we have to understand that this is a cycle that they go. They've seen their parents, their mothers go through it, and they accept it. Their friends are going through it, and they accept it, that this is what it's supposed to be. So that is the main reason why I write songs about it. For example, and one of the calypsos I wrote, Sister to Sister, it was sung by Shanice Langford.
yes.
Was an exact story of something that I had witnessed, and I that's why I named it Sister to Sisters. Like, I wanted to share that knowledge with this young woman, and I felt like that is a message that a lot of young women needed to hear. I know it's hard. I know what you're going through. You don't have to stick around and take that side of life. There's things you can do to change your circumstances. Because I was too tired of the domestic violence all over the place. Hearing this happened there, that one happened there.
Yeah, and we've had a lot of that going on in Dominica. And people are the society that we live in. I would not necessarily say it's an enabling society, but more so it's like, I don't want to get into people's business, but they will whisper about it.
Yes.
So you're technically still in their business, right? Like, you don't want to get into their business to stop it, but you will whisper with your friends, or you'll say, oh, so and so husband beat her last night, or like, you'll share that information, but you will not necessarily, what do you do about it? Like, how do you sit around and hear a woman crying, screaming for her life, and do
And
not?
not do something about it. And that, to me, I remember one experience while I was here, and something happened, and I saw my father had such a visceral reaction to something that was happening in the neighborhood. I don't want my neighbor to think but I remember seeing that, and I remember that stayed with me for the rest of my life, that there are men who value women and know that this is wrong, 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 and it's not supposed to happen. And my father became a hero in my eyes that night, because he stepped in and stopped it. You know what I mean? He stepped in and stopped it. He didn't say, well, okay, that is their business. No, he got up and went and did something about it. And so I feel like we as women, those of us who have the strength to talk about it, because a lot of the victims do not. They don't have the strength to speak about it, to even tell you what they're going through. So we the ones who do have the mouths. They always tell me I have a big mouth. So I'm talking about it because I have a big mouth. There.
Um, I'm interested to know because you're obviously you're in the public eye a lot, and
Mhm.
um, people see you when they see you. When they don't see you, you're gone. You
But
travel.
yeah.
What are some of the things that you've heard people say about you that you were just like your jaw just dropped? You were like,
Um, I actually don't listen a lot, but I've heard people say, I've not just heard, somebody posted on Facebook that I have offshore accounts.
but
But like,
that's okay if you do though, because you
no,
do.
like, but the connotation was like, like Panama Papers type of offshore
Oh wow.
accounts. I have some secret dealings with governments and I get in contracts for this and that. Nothing could be farther from the truth. I was like, what? Where did you get that, information? But I've heard that a family member actually called me and told me he heard I was in the hospital because I'd been beaten up by my husband. I've had,
Wow.
yeah, people say,
I've actually heard that.
yeah, so people say shit. Today categorically, my husband has never, not once in our 23 years of marriage and 26 years together, laid a finger on me except to caress me. Just so everybody knows that, can be categorically clear. Not once. We argue because I have a big mouth. Okay. So, like everybody, we argue about things, but he has never, 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 not once. So it actually it hurts him. That's why we have these
Hurt,
discussions.
yes,
It
yes,
hurts
it
him
hurts.
to think that people think that way about him because he's a very tough guy. He's a tough, but he will not show his emotion, the
Mm-hmm.
hurt he feels about that.
Mm-hmm.
But he's hurt by it. I can tell you that much. He's like, why would anybody want to create that sort of rumor, that sort of lie? Why would you want to do that to a person? I don't know.
Unless you actually witness it, like it's you cannot just.
And I'm saying, there are real people out there suffering those things, and we, instead of us channeling our things, our energies to help them, we are there spreading rumors. And I know who started that rumor. I know very well.
Why you want to jump this? I'm just. No,
No,
that's
no,
not kind of
true,
show.
true.
That's
And
not
I,
that kind of show.
I confronted a family member of that person, and the family member said to me, "Well, that's just how the person is." I'm like, "No, you don't do that to
Because
people."
the fact that the person said that it has spread to people that
All
it's not
over, and
necessarily like I have no interest in that information. They were like none, zero
people
interest.
so willing to believe bad things about. That's another thing I found. People are willing to believe any bad thing about you. The good news, nah, not so much. They're like, true, true now. But the bad news, I always knew, I know some. We kind of in that society where we quick to think bad about people. It's
Mm-hmm.
horrible. It's horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Just today I saw this lady. What is her name? Philomen, the lady from Trinidad who does. She does like a comic. You know,
Yes, yes, yes. The light skinned lady. Oh, I love her.
Miss. So she says today she had two encounters of situations where you should not sort of presume things about people. You shouldn't jump to conclusions about people without, And she described, this was her submission today. She described two encounters where guys were calling her and she was ready to pounce on them, and the way they spoke to her and complimented her, she was taken aback. She was like, "Oh, okay, that's not what I was expecting." Jumping to conclusions, about people, and I've been very careful, having had the experience of people jumping to conclusions about me and my own marriage and my own situation, to not do that to other people. To
Better to
give,
ask. It's better to
yeah,
ask a
that's
question.
what I'm telling you. So I've been a listener more. So I have people come to me and listen. So if you come and you tell me this is the situation I'm going through, then I have it firsthand from you that that's the situation you're going through. But I'm not just gonna believe it because somebody else says it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've had it said about me and completely false. So it's
Because
interesting.
too, a huge part of it is the fact that we're unable to communicate.
Yeah,
So it's
true.
like even just saying like, if like for a typical example, you see somebody you haven't seen in a while,
Hmm.
they look thicker,
Hmm.
curvier. You really don't mean they fat.
Yeah.
You really mean they look nice. But
Yep.
the way you say it makes that person feel like we don't know how to communicate. Like
But
just simple things like that. Like we and I think like the schools need to pay attention to this and pick up on how to, like, we need to teach our children how to be better communicators. It's all well and done. It's all
Mm,
fine when they come up with the fantastic grades, but if
mhm.
they cannot express themselves or tell somebody how they feel about something
Mm.
without hurting the person's
Yeah,
feelings,
right.
they're not good communicators. And I think because we know we
Hmm.
cannot communicate, we're scared to say something because we don't want you to take it the wrong way, right?
Right,
Whereas
right.
you could simply say, "Hey,
Hmm.
Mikel, I heard this, I heard
Hmm.
it from the on the
Yeah.
road,
Hmm.
and I just want. Are you okay? Is everything okay? Like you
Right.
don't even have to say your husband
Exactly.
missing you. Like
But
because
yeah, I told him
every.
that friend, that cousin of mine called me and told me that I was in the hospital.
Oh my
I was in
god.
the hospital. I was like, I'm in the what? What? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, so it's funny. I mean, my family members know better. The people who are close to me, everybody knows better. Our children. So we kind of we, like if you say that to my brother, he'll probably is likely to punch you.
But you still cannot help but
Yeah.
think that this is something that is so far and
Hmm.
not true
Right.
about you, and
Mhm.
here is your husband, who obviously a huge part of
Yeah.
his role is he is in your light,
Hmm.
constantly. So he's in the back, in the shadows, in the back, and
Hmm.
then somebody's vilifying him in that way, makes him a monster because you're already in the shadow,
Yeah.
right? He's
Exactly.
already in the shadow,
And
right? So,
he's not one that will jump and take the limelight. So he's one, like you said, he will sit back.
mhm,
And he I think he finds it hard again to communicate to people unless you're really close to him, to have that tough conversation. If somebody wants to have that tough conversation with him,
mhm,
he'll find that hard. I'm the one with the, like I said, I'm the bravado one. I'm the one who's openly communicative. That's
mhm.
a gift from God, I think, that I'm
I think
able.
too we have to start teaching, because like I try this even with my son, because he's a
Mhm.
boy, and they say boys tend to hide their emotions. Oh, you're not supposed to tell your emotions. No, I want to know how you feel. How
Exactly.
does that make you feel?
Feel. Yeah.
Right? And
To
you
say
want to
that.
cry, you should cry,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
I think we need to get back in touch, or get in touch with our emotions, and be able to communicate properly without being hurtful,
Right.
without hurting others, and without hurting ourselves. No?
Ourselves, very importantly,
Yeah.
and I think a lot of us are so scared of the repercussions of actually expressing ourselves, and we don't know how to be vulnerable
Hmm.
in with people we love. Also, this also stems, I think, from the fact that people who have done it have come up against, ridicule.
Hmm.
You either you girly because you're a guy and you're trying to
Hmm.
be able to express your emotions, or you're sissy, or
Yes,
you know
see, yes, yes.
those kinds
It's
of
not,
things.
what kind of nonsense that, like,
And
yeah.
it's like, that is a relic of slavery. It's like, I
Hmm.
mean, that's really part of the oppression of black people, is to you have no emotions. What emotions you're talking about? Your job is to work as a slave, and yeah, you don't feel
But
anything.
Michelle,
You're not
white
supposed
people are
to feel
so
anything.
expressive,
I'm telling you,
like
this is
so expressive
that's
about their
part of the
emotions,
conditioning that we
about.
of black people, to
Whew,
make them non-feeling, because we're not supposed to be human. Remember, we were not supposed to be human. We're not like, we don't
with
have
what did they say? 3/5 of
one
a
fifth.
human
Right, exactly.
in
So,
US, the US what is
yeah,
the thing? Yeah,
constitution. Yeah, it says
Constitution.
it.
Yes,
Yeah.
said we are 3/5 of a human.
So
Ah,
we
yeah.
really actually need to focus, especially with our children, because the generations that have gone before, they've gone already. You really need to focus on getting this generation of children to learn to express themselves, and to embrace the fact that you are human and you have a range of emotions, and things will happen, and people are not going to yell and scream at you because you express your emotion. But
Right.
we as the parents have to also fit in, we have to find our place in that dynamic, so that we're not perpetuating the same mistakes our parents did by yelling at us and tell us, shut up.
Yeah.
Every time you try to cry or you
But
say
that is
something,
big people conversation.
hush
That's
up.
what you're supposed to be talking about. You know,
Exactly.
like I
So
like I had somebody tell me when I was younger, oh, you don't talk to about your period. Like you don't talk about that. And now I'm just like, You don't talk about your period. Because every time I have cramps, I want to tell the whole world that my cocoa coming out. I don't
Yeah,
care. Like you're supposed to be able to
exactly.
feel. Like it's
Exactly.
something that you can express yourself.
Hmm.
I want to ask you about what next for Mikael, but
Hmm.
what next for Mikael? You've been at it because you're very passionate about entertainment law,
Hmm.
and a huge part of it is how you've seen things unfold in not just Dominica but in the very the smaller developing states of the Caribbean. Um,
Hmm.
so I probably should just ask you and leave it up to you. What next for you? Because you've had such a successful career. You have your children are well, you have one grown adult, your other
Hmm.
is like right on the
Right
cusp
on the cusp of, yeah,
of,
leaving.
of adulthood, of
Yeah.
leaving the nest. So you're pretty soon you're going to be an empty
Yes, yes.
nester.
Oh my
You're gonna be an empty nester.
God.
And like, so what's next for you?
There's so much happening. Like you said, I'm very passionate about entertainment law, and I feel I get calls all the time, or people meet me. Let's just what was it yesterday? Somebody met me in a supermarket and started asking advice on being a writer and how you get your music registered and how do you charge for certain services and those. And I constantly get these calls, or people need help. So there's a demand for help in that area, and so I feel like it is I feel like another duty that God has placed on my heart to do. So I want to be able to assist through the knowledge that I have garnered through my experiences,
Mhm.
and also through the education that I'm getting through, going to school and learning about the entertainment industry, um, to sort of be that help, a beacon for those coming who have no idea where to go. They're lost. I'm kind of like that lighthouse, um, you know, on that rocky shore.
Mhm.
So okay, a guidepost I can see, okay, I can go this way and I can show you if you come to me. I'm always helping people. I will help you to sign up. Somebody said to me, but you can charge for that. I said, no, not right now. I want to help everybody understand what their rights are as musicians, as creators, and how it is you can leverage those rights to your economic benefit. That's my role. That's what
Mhm.
I envision myself doing into the future. When I am trained and
And you have
you
the
know
paper.
I get paper, I can say,
Paper.
okay, I can charge a fee to do this. But for the meantime, a lot of it I've learned through just the experience of being around the music industry
And making your own mistakes
and
too.
making my own mistakes. I know the pitfalls, a lot of the pitfalls. So if you need assistance, I tell people reach out to me. Reach out to me on Facebook, through AMP Facebook, for AMP website. Reach out to me, and I will give you the advice to the best of my knowledge, and I will help you get through certain things that you would think that sometimes you think that artists know those things, but they just don't actually. Yeah,
Just
they
don't.
just don't know, and so they find themselves in situations that you can't really get out of, things where people take such advantage of you, because the world out there knows the value of music and creativity. They know it, but here for us, we do it because we love to be creative, not because we are aware of the economic
Mhm.
you know
Even things like setting up a Facebook page as a musician or a YouTube page. There's some things that you need to know on. And like I've had people come to me and ask me, and I'm like, you were not supposed to do it that way, and that's why you're not able to monetize it.
monetize. Right, exactly.
Right? Like you have all of these views, but I think a dime,
Making money.
like
Exactly.
making money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
that's really good to know. The folks out there, I wanted to go to the chat
Hmm.
and kind of see what they're asking. So Nadisha is asking if you new album question mark.
I'm actually thinking about it, not just thinking about it, actually thinking seriously about it. Maybe two, because one, I would really like, and Cornell, I'm throwing this out there if you're listening at all, for us to do another Musicano project. I feel like it's long overdue, and we should embark on that. Get all the people who used to be part of that Musicano um, movement and do an album, and then and do a solo project. But I have different ideas for a solo project. I want to do a solo project where I take traditional songs from Dominica and rearrange them into my style. You know, I did it with Sasa Esa from yes, from Cici Cordero. It's jazzy,
Give us a
right?
little. Give us a little bit of it. Give us a little bit.
Sasa Esa, se di bilang bagonet sam. Bagonet, wadihet mo siya sa yesa. Setipilang, kakiteti wapiat la, disbare. Bel wap no lang, bel shetola. You can check
Yay!
it out.
I want to put on my curl clothes on also.
Yeah, so we've done it at Creole and the Jazz and Creole a few times. It's a jazzy arrangement done by my very good friend Brent Samuel and the rest of my band. Um, so I would like to sort of explore more because there's so many traditional songs that are really cute songs, nice, great melodies and so on that are just relegated to tradition and it's the past. And I feel like they can get new life. I also did a new arrangement of Anaye. I don't know if anybody's familiar with that. There's a chant in Granby called Anaye Wetilala.
No, give
So
it to us now. Give it to us.
done that one. That one I'm saving because I did it for a television documentary
Ah,
that is going to air. So I want to keep that
for that.
for that. Yes, but it's an interesting arrangement. It's completely a cappella, but it's all the voices together. And I feel like I want to do more of that with Dominica's folk music.
Okay.
Yeah. I also want to do a Christmas album. I would love to. And then I also want to do
She's like, I wanna do. I wanna do.
yes, and I want to do yes, just another album of my own music. Like after the years, what I've learned about writing and poetry and prose, and just apply that to some new music. Yeah.
All right. We had a question that we asked the folks. A few folks are participating in this. So they had to share. They had to
Mhm.
share the live. They had to share the picture, the
Mhm.
flyer of your
Mhm.
of you being on. They had to also share the live, and they're gonna
Mhm.
have to answer. They had to answer this question, and I posted the question a little while ago, and they were
Mhm.
just supposed to answer, and we're gonna see who was the first person that got it correct, and make sure that they met all of the criteria, and they would win themselves. Well, one of two people will win themselves $100 voucher each to Fresh Market
Mm.
HBC for
So I'm not
LA
eligible.
Girl
I
Cosmetics.
should.
No, you're
I
not a
should.
no. No, no. I'm gonna have to talk to Fresh Market about organizing you on
Yeah,
a
no.
privately. But
Sure.
they win themselves $100 gift
Mm.
voucher for LA Girl Cosmetics at Fresh
Mhm.
Market HBC. And the question was, how many years have you been growing your locks?
Wow. Oh my goodness. Who would have the right answer to that?
I don't know. So just answer. Answer. You don't watch the chat. Just answer.
Okay, so I've been growing my hair since 2005.
So that
So let's
is
calculate.
like just 2005. So that's just under 20 years. Well,
Yeah.
just under 20 years. So 19 years. Wait, 18
Wait, no,
years.
not in 2000.
18
Yeah.
years. 18 years. 18
I
years.
cut my hair several
Wow.
times. Yeah. So
Wow.
every
Wow.
time it
Wow.
gets to a certain length, if I can feel it tickling my bum, and then I go snip, snip.
Ah!
And I cut it
If they didn't get it correct, the persons who come closest
closest, right?
to you,
Yeah. So I
you can
usually
take
cut it to
right
hair.
here.
Yeah. And then it grows back again. So I did cut it in when did I cut it? In March. Yeah, March. But my hair grows fast, so
Oh,
from
wow.
yeah.
Wow. Have you ever thought of just growing it and seeing how long it will go?
Too heavy. That's why I never actually went. For every time it gets to that point where my hair frightens me, like I'm walking and I feel something touch me. I'm like, what is that?
Got it.
Fix. So I think I've done it. I've cut it about 3 times and then trimmed it also a few times in between.
Wow.
So,
Mikael,
yeah.
it was wonderful,
Thank you.
wonderful having you here
Thank you.
on the show with me.
Mhm.
I mean, you're a breath of fresh air, I didn't want to go too deep into, well, how are you? Well, because a little girl, I didn't want to go get into that. I
Somebody asked me a question there, Jael. I don't know if you want to ask it.
what are they asking?
Says, what is Michelle's views on that? I think it's your sister asking. Well, she's asking, somebody else asked it. Edgar asked it. What is Michelle's views on the degrading lyrics, especially about women while it's prostitution?
Oh,
Let me tell you.
what are your views, Mikel?
If
I missed
anybody
that.
knows me at all, you know that I am completely 100% anti, adverse to, against that type of music being played in places where children can hear it. Adults, to me, it's not my taste of music. I would not listen to music like that. But if adults in a club at 2 o'clock in the morning want to play that kind of music, that's fine. But I'm completely against this music being played in public areas where children are exposed to it.
Yeah.
Because we have laws in this country. We have profanity laws for a reason. Okay, and that to me is profanity. We have laws that on the rights of a child, and exposing a child to pornography, whether it be audio or visual, is a crime. So for me, I see this as a crime when it is played in public. In the privacy of one's home, one can do whatever they want. In the privacy of an adult setting, where the club, the only people you have to be 18 to get in, I cannot.
Or you could get the clean version. Make a clean version.
Why would what is clean about
You can
keeping
baby
you
put your hand here.
know,
I put it in your, it's clean.
but you know what that does is the children now want to go and find the original version. You know, they will go
Yeah,
looking for it.
but they will find it anyways with social media.
But my issue is public places. I tell you what the experience I had. I was walking on Virgin Lane next to, there's a preschool there and there's a St. Martin school there, and it's just after 8 o'clock. And somebody outside had a speaker playing one of those songs.
Wow.
Okay, a speaker. This is just after a set.
Did you go in and say, "Oh, excuse me"?
I wish I had actually, but I was walking past and I'm like, what is this guy doing? And the man was on his step jump. You know, I was like, at this time of the morning,
When children could go to school.
children in school. Yeah, and to me, this songs blasting from your vehicles while you're driving in the middle of road. So, first of all, we have a noise. You shouldn't be playing your music so loud. And second of all, if it's profane, that should not be allowed. Not legal. Play it in the club.
Season it to not and all of the above.
Exactly. So anyway.
Yes, I am so. Listen, what's his name? Alex Bruno was on the line.
D Sugar says, okay, Mikel, lawyer Mikel. But it's true though. I mean, we signed conventions on the rights of a child. We signed those treaties, and then we just don't apply the provisions of those treaties. Why would you subject a child to that? It's child abuse. It actually is child abuse.
It is child abuse.
I feel like I feel like law enforcement is not taking this seriously enough. Quite frankly, I think we really need to do something about it because there are laws there. It's not like you have to invent some kind of new law to apply to the situation. We have laws on the books that can handle that situation, and we should do it for the sake of the children. We should do it.
Can we play it at Creole Festival though?
Is that what we want?
No, the question is, can we play it? Because I'll tell you what I'll tell you what I've seen happening a lot. I'm seeing that these artists who actually sing these songs not getting gigs locally, getting gigs regionally, and then regional artists coming to Dominica and singing their songs on our stages.
Well, I haven't seen that yet myself.
It's happened at 3 events recently. 3 different
but
events.
considering the fact that, for example,
Because they're popular songs, they may not be. They may be considered distasteful by our standards, but regionally, people are gravitating towards.
I have an issue with the fact that this is what we're presenting to the region as us. Because as you can see, we find it distasteful. So it's not really us.
Not we, some of us.
Some of
us.
yeah, a lot of us.
I find there's a time and place for everything.
Well, like I said,
And I agree with you where the children are concerned,
Mhm.
but I still feel like it's an expression of someone's, and they're an adult, and I feel like it might not be your jam, but somebody else might like it, because all of us
I
can't be the
understand
same.
that, but we also need to, as artists, need to pay very close attention to the fact that we shape the society. We may not realize this, but if you look through all the great eras of mankind, the artists, the painters, the dancers, the musicians shape the society. So we are responsible for shaping the next society that's going to emerge out of our time. What exactly are we shaping? Are we this do we want to normalize this type of communication and this type of degradation? I don't feel like that is a good survival um, plan for a society. If you look at societies, I've been to Greece, I've been to Italy. You look at the Roman societies and you look at Greek societies, and these societies fell when they became sexually deviant and immoral. That is what happened with these societies. They were flourishing economically, and when they descended into that sexual immorality, the societies crumbled, all their structures crumbled. And so, why would we want to follow? It's done. History shows us that this is what's
True.
happening. So, why we want to follow the same path? Like I said, I mean, you know,
Well, me,
it's
I just drink my water and mind my business.
so for me, my business is to be that voice of positivity, of building societies, of upliftment, of because there are, whether we like it or not, those elements of degradation will be there, and there are people who
Always.
like it. Um, and so if we allow that to just continue to fester, then society will crumble. That's a given. So those of us who have some level of responsibility for creating the next society have to speak up. We have to do something about it. And whereas we are not infringing on anybody else's freedom of speech, we are saying that we have a duty to protect our children until they're old enough to make that decision for themselves, whether they want to listen to this or they want to listen to that. But in the meantime, we cannot expose them to something that we know their little minds cannot comprehend at that point, and can lead them into experiences and behaviors that will be detrimental to them and their future. So we have to be very guarded the way that is concerned.
Boy, Mikel.
Yes.
Lawyer Mikel.
Don't speak loyally.
Mikel, you're gonna give us a final number before you go? A final little something,
What would
anything
it
of your
be?
choice. Any song you want to sing. I like Rebel. I don't know, I like Rebel,
You
but
like
I
Rebel?
like Rebel. Probably it's fitting
But
right
and
now.
it's fitting because trust me, I'm going against the grain,
It's,
because
it's
a lot of the musicians, I think, they feel like this is their chance and their opportunity to get on a regional stage, get on an international stage, and so it sells. It's obviously garnering a lot of attention,
Mhm.
and so. But I'm a person who firmly believes if you stand for nothing, you fall for everything. Check. So you have to stand for something, and if I'm a rebel in doing that, then no problem. Mikhail,
Don't you try
don't you
to
try not
judge
to judge
me.
me.
Sweet
Sweet
now
my
the
whole
face,
face.
your sit down
On
relax on the bird on
my
face. She
face.
possessed.
Gente sei que push to put more. Not say Agent still shut down in my mind. Car je fais confiance au trésor. Et même si parfois me plaint, je chercherai à corriger mes défauts. Dis-moi qui parmi-vous pas me jeter une pierre. Oh ben, je suis Reverse yesterday, vraiment t'es parmi vous, pas me jeter la première pierre. Reverse yesterday, yesterday's fears are not today. I've had my doubts, my dues are paid, but today I am here to say life's too short to throw my peace away. Self down in my flow. Car je fais confiance en toi. Et même si parfois on me plante, je chercherai à corriger mes défauts.
Oh my God, Michele! Yes, Michele Henderson, right here on Run the Track and Talk. I finally got her on. I'm so excited. I'm really from air to air. I'm so happy that you could join us here. Thank you so very, very much
Thank
for
you
your
for having me.
time and for being open and being honest and being transparent and just talking, man. Thank you. Thank you
Cool.
so very much.
You're welcome. I hope the audience enjoyed it.
We'll talk soon.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
no problem. Good night, guys.
Bye-bye. Guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Thank you so very much. Thank you to all those of you who shared the live, who came on, who shared, who tagged, who commented. We're gonna be going back to see who won or who came as closest to. Because 2 people are gonna walk away with that $100 gift voucher. Each $100 voucher from Fresh Market HBC. Thank you so very much to the princess of song, our very own Michele Henderson. Such a beautiful voice. Oh my God, I have chills. I don't know if you guys think I got chills, but I had chills. I was cold. I was like, what did I put my sweater? But yes, Michele is definitely a legend in Dominica, and I'm so happy that she took some time off from her schedule to join us right here on Run the Track and Talk. Who else you want to see right here on the program? Tell me who you want to see. Drop a name, a comment in the comment box below. And don't forget to join Jael Joseph Live, because you know what? I literally take things from Jael Joseph Live group and I bring it onto the show, right? So if you're not in the group, I will probably treat you like a distant cousin, but I won't treat you like family, right? So make sure that you join the Jael Joseph Live group chat. It's an open group. You can join there. We share when I have new guests. They're the first ones to know when who's coming on. They're also the first ones to participate in polls as to what they want to hear, who they want to say. But Run the Track, we're continuing next week. We're gonna the 19th. We're having Ebony Empress, Posse Massive by way of St. Martin. And then on the 20th, we have another Henderson. Gordon Henderson joins us right here on Run the Track and Talk. So thank you very much, guys, for coming on, for tuning in. My sponsors, the National Cooperative Credit Union of Dominica, Bullseye Pharmacy, and Fresh Market HBC. Thanks to you, the viewers. Until next time, I'm saying good night and talk to you soon. Bye.